Alright, here we go. Back again. Back again. Alright. And today it is the unpreviously fought syndrome. Alright. And yeah, this is the 7th episode or installment of the syndrome. And like I have said, it can continue as long as the deception continues. And to begin with today, we will touch on plastic again. And this has been in the syndrome since it started, as you will see. And it's in relation to microplastics and microfibers, which we also touched on in the last syndrome. So they are pushing that one big time this year. And this was last week's syndrome, and as you can see, we touched on microfibers, and yeah, they are microplastics. Happy days, right? But in the first sort of done previously fought video, as you can see, we did touch on plastic in that one as well. So feel free to catch up if you want to check them out. But yeah, they are now saying that microplastics are everywhere, and basically, as you can see, it's back again today. Forbes, 1 day ago, Atlantic Ocean contains more plastic, yep, than previously thought. What a surprise, right? And I am sure that will not come as a shock to anyone, because everything is covered in plastic today. And it's everywhere. This one, they've pushed it right across the board. The European Socialist, 10 times more microplastics in Atlantic Ocean than previously thought. And of course, our champions, Science Daily, well, they couldn't resist. But yeah, they had to cover it as well, because they are the go-to, the most important, right? The go-to for all you need to know, our champions of the syndrome. And of course, yeah, they ran it as well. And to touch on this, it says the lead author of the paper, Dr. Katsarayan Pabortseva, we'll go with that, right? Pabortseva, right? Cool, sure. From the National Oceanography Centre, NOC, said previously we couldn't balance the mass of floating plastic we observed with the mass we thought had entered the ocean since 1950. Right. This is because earlier studies hadn't been measuring the concentrations of invisible microplastic particles beneath the ocean surface. Our research is the first to have done this across the entire Atlantic. Right, sure, why not? They're invisible, right? So they must be there. In order to determine the dangers of plastic contamination to the environment and to humans, we need good estimates of the amount and characteristics of the material, how it enters the ocean, how it degrades, and then how toxic it is at these concentrations. This paper demonstrates that scientists have had a totally inadequate understanding of even the simplest of these factors. Wow, ain't that a surprise, right? Here we are once again, and the scientists, well, they know nothing. And it continues, how much is there? And it would seem our estimates of how much is dumped into the ocean has been massively underestimated. Shock horror. And yeah, I'm not too sure where it's all heading with this microplastics and microfibers. Are they going to be saying next that we even the dust that we breathe in our homes, is that going to be dangerous? And yeah, I would imagine that will be next. And in terms of Scotland, we do recycle, but I'm sure the landfill, we no longer put rubbish into landfill, or garbage, if you like. And so it goes elsewhere. But of course, I would imagine it gets sold on and passed about, and then eventually it ends up in the fucking ocean, right? That would not surprise me one bit. Anyway, expect to see more from this microplastics and microfibers, because it has the syndrome. It's riddled with the syndrome, right? Put it that way. And we'll leave that for the time being. And moving on to another thing that that has the syndrome big time, and it's new. It is a new factor in the syndrome, and it is overpopulation. Right. Now, yeah, some cities might be overpopulated, but the world, for me personally, I do not think it is overpopulated. It is just really, 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 really badly fucking managed, right? In my opinion. Anyway, the World Economic Forum, our heroes, of course, they are now coming out and saying, well, what will the world population look like in 2100? I wonder, right? And this is 2 days ago from, the World Economic Forum. And we know who funds them, of course. So we'll touch on this a wee bit. The key points. Research by the University of Washington suggests that population declines in India and China could be more rapid than previously thought. Growing access to education and contraception for women could catapult India and Chinese fertility below replacement levels quickly. Right, the researchers did not see the same factors at play in most African nations, where population growth will continue to 2100 and beyond. Right, so it seems that China and India are going to decline in population faster than previously thought, whereas Africa will continue to grow, right? This is what they're telling us. So I wonder what that could be down to. Anyway, it then says, while experts have long agreed that the world has already set the course for a future population decline, there has been disagreement about just how fast and where exactly the number of people on this earth will shrink. Right. Medical journal The Lancet recently published research by the University of Washington suggesting that population decline could be more rapid than previously thought, especially in the world's most populous nations, China and India. The researchers assume the world population will peak already just after the middle of the century, earlier than projected by the UN Population Division. Sure, they pointed out that models of population's growth have proven to be very stable, while those dealing with population decline were much less reliable. Yep, that's because all computer models are useless. And we sure do know that for sure. But as you can see, this has been a report published in the Lancet. Would you believe it? And I did actually have a look over it, the report. Not much to tell, really. A lot of ifs and buts and assumptions. But of course, you know what they say about assumptions, right? It is the mother of all fuck-ups. Of course it is. And computer modelling proved that for sure. But if you look at this report at the bottom, who's it funded by? Well, it wouldn't take much to guess who was funding this Lancet research that has been done And yep, it is, of course, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. What a surprise. And yeah, I can never resist touching on Bill Gates. Here he is in the forum, 2017. Bill Gates thinks this is one of the greatest threats to humanity, and it's a picture of Bill Gates. That's because he is the fucking biggest threat to humanity. And it says, as hurricanes and other natural disasters, yeah, sure, ravage the world and the threat of nuclear war looms, it's hard to assess which risks for humanity are really the scariest right now. Right. But one of the biggest threats out there is one of the oldest infectious disease, sure, which can emerge naturally or be human-made, as in the case of bioterrorism. Right. I'll go with man-made, right? And here's Billy again here, 2018, in the forum again, who he funds, would you believe it? And the Rockefellers, of course, our heroes. Why Bill Gates brought a jar of human waste to a speech. Right, I wonder whose waste it was. If it was Billy's, or was it his husband, Michael's, right? I wonder. On a stage in Beijing, Bill Gates took out a beaker of yellowish brown fluid and put it on a nearby podium. Right. So yeah, here's Bill Gates in 2018 at some speech, and he carries out a jar of shit, as you do, right? And it says, the Janiki Omani processor developed by Washington-based Cedron Technologies is being piloted at a wastewater treatment plant in Dakar, Senegal, in partnership with the country's National Office of Sanitation. Omniprocessor is a somewhat technocratic word coined by the Gates Foundation. Wow, to refer to the fact that the treatment machines can handle more than just human waste, right? The machine dries out wet solids and expels some of it as ash. Sludge steam goes through a filter and goes on to produce potable water, which Gates has sampled himself. Sure, while water products that aren't potable are used to generate electricity. Wow. So yeah, there you go. Gates himself has drunk a jar of feces, shit, if you like, or shite, as we say in Scotland. But yeah, I knew that Bill Gates was fucking mental. But yeah, there you go. He is completely fucking mental. And yeah, there is enough fresh water in the world for everyone. We certainly do not have to be making water out of Bill Gates's fucking shite. Alright? So I personally will be giving that one a fucking miss. That is for sure. There he is there with his jar of Michael's, let's just say, Michael's very latest. Alright? The very latest from Melinda. Bill took it to work to show everyone. And we'll leave Billy for the time being. But yeah, he'll be back in the syndrome. That is for sure. And this is another, of course, that is constantly and riddled with the syndrome. And it is this virus that they talk of. This coronavirus. This mysterious virus. And I was picking up my youngest from school today. And I'm quite impressed with how my youngest school has handled the situation. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, and the kids are free to play as they wish, which is great at the moment at least, right? But I spoke to a teacher, my kid's teacher, who came out, and she was sweating. The sweat was pouring off of her, and she took her mask off when she came out as I was picking up my daughter who's autistic, so she can't just leave on her own. So I have to pick her up in the school. But she came out the door and took off her mask and was struggling to breathe. So yeah, masks don't affect your breathing. But there you go. A teacher has to wear it all fucking day long. And she comes out for 2 minutes and is literally gasping for fucking air. So struggling to breathe. And I was like, do you have to wear them all day? And she said, yes, even when we come outside. And I was kind of thinking, well, you've just took it off. But I felt like saying, don't put it back on. But I don't want to cause any trouble at my daughter's school. But I really did feel like saying, look, don't wear the mask. Take it off. You're obviously struggling with your breathing. And that could have a serious effect and you could become ill. But it's not really my place to say. But if it happens again, I might not be able to bite my tongue. And I might just say, look, forget the mask, take it off. It will do you more harm than good. And that is the truth, right? But yeah, it's a tough situation because I would imagine if a teacher refused to wear a mask, then they will be out the door for sure. They won't have a job, simple as that. But teachers, like doctors and nurses, they haven't got long in a job. They will be replaced by AI. And that is for fucking sure. And we will touch on that again. Anyway, sticking with the syndrome. And like I said, the coronavirus, as they call it. And we have seen this coming a mile away. We have discussed it already in the past. And it is in regards to children. As you can see, 6 hours ago, The National. Children play larger role than previously thought as silent spreaders. Right. So yeah, as we thought, they are now going for children like they are super spreaders. 9 hours ago, Express and Star. Children may carry more COVID-19 in their systems, yep, than previously thought. Surprise, surprise. Now, 2 hours ago, WCVB Boston, kids contracting virus more than previously thought. Just a classic headline, that one. And yeah, like I said, we seen this coming a fucking mile away. They are going to go for kids, big time. MSN UK, children carry bigger virus load than I wonder, right? I wonder if you can guess. Sure, but yeah, they are. This is them now, going for the kids, big time. The Independent, the latest news as WHO warns younger people should not what? Right, should not worry, should not fear, should not be anxious. Well, no, it's that younger people should not feel invincible, right? So forget having any kind of confidence in yourself or your immune system because, hey, you ain't invincible, right? So yeah, just a confidence blow for the young people. And yeah, for sure, they are going for kids and younger people. I wouldn't really class myself as young. I would say more middle-aged, going by the life expectancy of a white male in Scotland, right? And to touch on this a bit more, Nicola Sturgeon warned that R rate, this magical fucking R rate, could currently be above 1 as she delayed moving to the next phase of Scotland's lockdown plan. What a surprise. But pressed ahead with lifting restrictions on some outdoor live events, contact sports, driving lessons, and indoor face-to-face advice services. Right, so on one hand, the lockdown has stopped easing. On the other hand, it's continuing. So yeah, she's leaving the door open to another syndrome where they say, well, it was a mistake to open the swimming pool or the gym, right? Look out for it. And it then says, it came as the World Health Organization told younger people they should not feel invincible to the effects of coronavirus, which may stick to your body like a tornado with a long tail. Wow, right? Sure, why not? The World Health Organization's Europe director has warned, citing a rise in infected under 24s. Sure, where's the proof? Show us the proof, right? But yeah, as you can see, we are seeing COVID described as a tornado. It's now attaching itself to people and young people like tornadoes and ripping through everyone. What's next, right? And it points out some key points, right? So they are: Scotland sees largest surge in infections for nearly 3 months. Shock horror. Younger people should not feel invincible, WHO director warns. Right. Face masks in the workplace should not be ruled out. Yep, it's fucking coming. COVID-19 patients still suffering complications 3 months later. Wow. So yeah, it's the largest in 3 months, and the complications can last for 3 months. Ain't that a surprise? Children may carry greater viral loads than thought, US study finds. It's a study, it must be true. Croatia could be cut from quarantine exemption list. Happy days, congratulations Croatia, you are now off of the quarantine list. But unfortunately for another country, you are now on it, and the list will never go away, right? It's far. Let's face it, it's here to stay. Everything in terms of the restrictions and measures surrounding COVID, well, yeah, it's here to fucking stay, right? Mark my words, and I'm sure you know that anyway. 1 day ago, we'll leave the COVID for now. 1 day ago, 7 News, US cities could face nearly 30 times more exposure to extreme heat by 2100. There's that magical year again, right? And what happened to this mini ice age that we was going to have, right? I guess that has been put on ice, if you like, right? CNN as triple-digit heat tests the limits of California's electrical grid to keep millions of people cool. It is clear the effects of human-caused global warming is already here. Sure, but the extreme heat baking the western US is a mere preview of what could be coming. Right. A new study, would you believe it, finds that in the future, the heat risk facing the country's biggest cities could be far greater than, yep, previously thought. What a fucking surprise. And yeah, but hey, give it a couple of months and it'll change again. It changes all the time. It's a bit like the weather in Scotland. If it's not raining, then hey, give it 5 minutes and yeah, it'll be raining. But anyway, we will leave the syndrome for today. It has again been a busy week for the syndrome, and like I said, as long as the deception continues, the syndrome will continue, right? Hopefully, one day I can come on and say, there is no the previously thought syndrome. It's finished, it's done. But hey, I would be very, very surprised if that day ever comes, because the agendas continue. And like I did say, hey, we know the plan, we know where it's going. And yeah, they can't fucking fool us, that's for sure. But I will be back tomorrow, happy days, with, yep, you guessed it, the Friday Fix. Okay? And yeah, it has been another crazy week of deception That is, for sure. Right, so yeah, look out for the Friday Fix tomorrow. And that is about it. Bye-bye.